Okay, I will open the meeting for the Water and Sewer Commission, Charlton Water and Sewer Commission. Tonight is March 4th, 2026. And I will first ask if there's anybody here for public forum. Not hearing anybody, I will pass the mic here on to Robert for minutes and warrants.
I make a motion to accept the minutes dated February 18th, 2026 as written.
I have a second, please.
I second.
Any discussion on these minutes? Hearing none, so we are at a roll call vote tonight. I'll ask for a roll call vote, please.
Sure. Mr. Robert Coleman,
Aye.
Thomas Coleman,
Aye.
Eric Groton,
Aye.
Paul Gagnon.
Aye.
Perfect.
Robert, you have more for us?
I make a motion to accept warrants totaling $70,564.96.
That's 170,000.
107, yeah.
Hey,
I
do I
make a
have a second?
motion to accept warrants totaling $170,564.96.
I second.
Okay.
Okay, any discussion on any of the articles within the warrant?
No.
No? Okay, then, so we have a vote, please?
Yep. Robert Coleman,
Aye.
Tom Coleman,
Aye.
Eric Groton,
Aye.
Paul Gagnon.
Aye. Well, I guess we can go right into our, is Dennis here yet? I haven't seen him on my screen.
Dennis
I'm
is
here.
here.
There's a lot
okay.
of people here.
Yeah, we
Yep.
have a full
All
house.
right. Well, Dennis, you're up next with the monthly operating reports.
Okay, I'll get it going. Okay, for January, I'll try to make this quick and painless.
Thank you.
Just pertinent stuff to go over. We replaced one of the poly pumps that died. Luckily, we had one on the shelf. We had just ordered it, and then we ordered some spares because we're replacing all the pumps to be the same, just for uniformity and ease of replacement and when we have issues. I had a contractor come in and fix the RBC number 1 that had snapped the chain. I just included a quick couple pictures. I know some of you may not know what the RBC looks like inside. They're not the greatest pictures, but they got some pretty big sprockets in there, and that was done in early January. We did get a call for the Overlook property for one of their snowplow vendors ripped the manhole cover off. We advised them where to get it. Obviously, it was private property, so it wasn't our responsibility. But I went and checked it out just to make sure it wasn't posing a safety hazard to anybody, and they had some cones around it. We also pretty much replaced a lot of. I also included a picture. One of the plows we used for the red truck. The mice had basically eaten all the wires from inside, so it was shorting out, doing some funny stuff, and they actually still live in the hood, but I'm working on evicting them. We had 4 house calls. I'm sorry, we had not 4 house calls. We had no house calls in January, but we had some call-ins. So just nothing serious. Some low-level alarms. I believe Mugget Hill was just the float got stuck. They came in and they just jiggled it around, freed it, and it was all set. Pump 2 at Hammond, we got that working again. It was clogged up. I'm sure that you've heard that before from the rest area. A lot of stuff likes to go in there. And we're still working on the Wet Well Wizard. I have to do a little bit of fabrication for that Wet Well Wizard for Hammond. The impeller is hitting the volute for some reason. That was on top of after we repaired one of the seals on it. So I have to take that back apart and actually shave it's aluminum, so shave some of the casting off so we can get that back working because they're really expensive to replace. And they actually work really well. So we did 7 loads of sludge and we got a ferric delivery and 6 caustic totes. 6 is about the average we're pushing now for caustic. That's most of it for January. We did in January, we ordered the ferric pumps, which carries us into February. So February, we ended up replacing both ferric pumps. The old ones that were in there were over 10 years old. We couldn't get parts for them. I tried. There was one vendor available to get parts from, and it just wasn't worth it. So those we did not replace with the same as the rest of the pumps in the building. However, we found a cheaper alternative, which is a higher quality pump, and as a result, we've already seen a little bit less usage of ferric. I expect it to be kind of the same, but as we adjust it and dial it in more, hopefully we'll use less ferric. I think we're kind of just the old pumps were somehow just using more and wasting. We replaced both pH probes.
How did you find me?
Both of the pH probes kind of died at the same time. We ordered a couple new ones. Luckily, we have Hawk that got us to them pretty quickly. And then we ordered some spares for the shelf. Other than that, we had some normal stuff. We had one of the pumps blew a hose over the night, which is pretty normal for the pH pumps. I mean, it's not normal, but it does happen from time to time. It's just a roller and a little hose. So I came into that one day, fixed it up quickly. And lately, I've actually been noticing that the generator has been tripping out the EQ pumps. So on Mondays, we kind of had to watch that a little bit more carefully. Not really sure why. We did talk a little bit with the electrician from LaFleur, and he believes there's something in there that it's the switch. I don't know. I forgot what he said. It sticks or does something. So on Mondays, we just have to keep an eye on it. So after it switches back to normal power for emergency power, after it runs its test, we just have to make sure that they're not tripped out and go from there. We had one house call for February, I believe. Where'd it go? Somewhere. On the Sunset, and that was a bad pump replacement for that. 4 loads of sludge for February, and I believe there was 6 totes. I know there's 4 on the report, but I believe there was 6. That was an error. And also, we installed some new lighting over the UV channels, which is very dark in that area for safety, and so we can see the channels a little bit better as far as cleaning, so we can have a better routine for cleaning those out. And I do have to fix the DMR for February. There was an error in it, and I'll be sending in an amendment for that for a TSS violation. It's actually not a violation. So if you see that, it's going to be corrected. And that's pretty much all I got.
Scott, can you mute yourself, please? Scott,
Sorry about that. I'm trying to figure out. It says I was muted.
okay, thanks. Hey, Dennis, how
Yes.
long is the test run for the generator? How long do you test run it?
It's about an hour. It's automatic. It's about an hour.
So what is the switch affecting?
So when it switches back, so when it swaps over to emergency power, it runs everything on the generator on a load, and then when it switches back, there's something in there. I don't know if Vinny remembers, but there's something in there that doesn't catch or something, and it trips out the EQ
So
pumps
it's
almost
a
every
complete
time.
disconnect system. So when the generator transfers, it shuts everything off momentarily. And then there's timers that restart everything sequentially. And if more than one timer is lined up with another one, it'll overload that circuit. So the timers are probably having an issue.
So So if we lose power though, the generator runs the plant, right? We have power at the plant.
Yes,
Running the generator is not the issue. It's when it swaps back. So if we do lose power, we're in good shape.
So does it automatically swap back once power comes on, or does it manually have to be swapped?
No, it's all automatic. We don't have to do anything with it.
So then if it was 2 a.m. and it swapped back, we would lose the pumps?
Not all of them. Typically, it only trips one of them or two sometimes, but mostly one. So shortly after that, we'll likely get a high level alarm for the EQ tanks. That's how we know it tripped out.
Okay,
there's an alarm call that comes on when the generator starts. And typically if that happens, somebody should be coming in to check things anyways.
okay.
Okay, before moving on, has anybody got anything else for Dennis? If not, we'll say thank you, Dennis, and we'll move on our agenda here, which
You're
would be 35 North Main Street. The sewer connection for that. Does whom do we have here tonight to represent that?
I believe it's Mr. Tatro.
I'm sorry.
It's
James
Mr.
Tatro.
Tatro. He's got his hand up. You want to tell us about your project, sir?
Sure. Can you hear me?
It's very quiet, but
Yes.
yes.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, the project in question is has been called the Villages at North Main. It's the property of 6 and change acres on the corner of North Main Street and L. Stevens Road. A total now of 33 2-bedroom units are proposed. In earlier iterations of the project, there were more units, but that was reduced in the course of planning board review. There are 33 units now proposed of 2 bedrooms, which by Title V, which is a bit conservative, but by Title V would generate a flow of 7,260 gallons per day. There is a existing gravity main, sewer main in front of this property in North Main Street. And we would be connecting to the main just about at the intersection of, wow. Sorry about the feedback, if I had anything to do with that. We'd be proposing to connect to the main by the intersection of L. Stevens and North Main Street. I can go into more detail if you like. I'm not sure how much you're looking for.
Okay, it's my understanding you have both sewer and water on North Main Street, but on L. Stevens Road, there was only water. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So how do you propose with pumping or whatever you have individual going into, one unit and pumping all at once? Or how are you going to get up to?
We are proposing to have E1 units at each of the units on actually, can I share my screen? I was going to say I could show you the presentation plan I've got here, if that's possible. Is it okay to do that?
If you know how to, because I don't know how
I
to.
will try. There's a button here that says share. Okay, let's see. This might do it. Okay, are you seeing it yet? Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Okay. So, these units on this drive here off L. Stevens Road called Olga Lane are proposed to have E1 pumps, and those pumps will discharge. I'm trying to trace it with the cursor, a path over here to a proposed sewer manhole in this location by the rounded corner of L. Stevens and North Main Street, and the sewer in this other drive would all be going down from north to south and total flow would be via a couple of new manholes to, I'm circling in the title block of roughly the location where it would be discharging into the existing main.
So that would be 8 separate little force mains running down L. Stevens to that common
No, it
manhole.
wouldn't. Actually, I probably didn't make that clear. Because we initially, as part of this project, we are proposing in pursuant to the regulations of the village zoning district. I'm trying to run the cursor along here where there's a new sidewalk proposed. And we initially said, okay, we'll run a single main that the 8 different pumps connect to under this sidewalk. And it was communicated to us that the town would not want to have that main in the right of way. We said, okay, well, so the grass, this should be the green path you see here that I'm sort of running the cursor over, is where the 8 units, their pumps all joined to one small E1 force main line would go, and then they would discharge into a new sewer manhole here, which is then flow would go by gravity to a connection again in roughly the location here on this scale. It's in the title block, connected to the existing gravity main.
And why wouldn't you put a gravity to a pump station on Olga, and just have a single pump station pump down the road?
I suspect it's more than anything a matter of economics that a pump station is hard to justify for 10 units.
Oh yeah, it is 10. Yeah. And are those E1 pumps, Vinny might be able to answer this question. Are those, is that part of infrastructure that we're going to maintain?
No. I actually, as soon as you started talking, I realized, oh, he's gonna ask that obvious question. These units, these are not, neither this drive, Olga Lane, nor this drive, Drive A, are to be accepted by the town. This is still going to remain in private ownership under GM Properties, and they are proposing to rent out these units while again owning all of the property still.
Is all the commissioners have access to this map that is on a screen right now? I don't know if it's the first time the rest of you have seen it or if you've seen it before.
I have access.
I doubt they've seen this exact map because I sent copies of the plans, but this is specifically a presentation plan putting everything on one sheet, but it's at a little larger scale than the rest of it. We had the sheets in the site plan set are at 20 scale, and you can't quite get all of this, all the site on one sheet at 20 scale. I can send this over to you folks for anybody to have in addition to the site plan. It does make it a little easier to figure and to follow.
The E1 are grinder pumps, are they not?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, I would ask if either Steve Gregoire or Chris McClure is here right now tonight too, and like their input on this situation. Is either of them here? Or both of them, or,
Yes, sir, I'm here.
okay?
I had spoken with the contractor on this, probably going on 6 months to a year ago now. So I'd have to refamiliarize myself with some of the specifics as we were going to connect to the water system. I believe the line was going to come in off L. Stevens, and there was some discussion of moving the hydrant there on the rounded corner to help better with some of their site work and put it in a better position for the town as well. But it has been some time since I've familiarized myself with this project. It's kind of one of the reasons I logged in tonight was just to refresh myself.
Is it necessary for the blue tank to be online before any water could be supplied to the, I know the townhouses aren't there yet, but it is a requirement of putting those townhouses in, having the blue tank online?
It shouldn't be a concern. Pressure and volume in that area should suffice. The blue tank would help as a whole, you know, more elevation, more available volume, but it shouldn't per se hinder this project. Chris, do you concur with that?
I know on the sewer side, the North Main Street pump station cycles about every 5 minutes to keep up with current flows. If a project of this size was to tie in, I think that pump station would need an upgrade before this happens.
I want to say to the commission members that different parties on the project team have had discussions with folks at the town, and we're made aware of the what would I say, the extreme stress of that particular pump station, and that I want to say that the applicant certainly is willing to participate in a solution or an improvement to that problem. I want to say I fully expect to probably ask to continue this meeting while that is further investigated. We understand I think the overall situation, but we don't know the specifics well enough to have an idea how to participate in that.
Assuming we get an updated pump station there on North Main Street, Vinny, what's the situation down at our sewer plant for accepting this stuff? I know we're pretty high, you know, close to our limits now anyhow, but what would the impact be?
The plant's near capacity for constituents. Flow wise, we're in good shape. We could use more flow, but again, we can't use any more strength. So if we had straight water coming in, it would be great. I see the big issue here is the pump station. And I don't think I could bless a project of this size until we have something secured on what's going to happen with our pump station.
Can I ask if any study has been done yet or is in progress about that pump station and how to update it or fix it?
We haven't gone too far down the road of upgrading or replacing it yet, because as is, it does meet the demands it needs to, but it couldn't handle a project of this size.
I was quite surprised to hear you say it's running it basically every 5 minutes. That seems like, wow, that's a high frequency.
Well, it gets all the flow from Masonic Home, and 3 other pump stations also pump to there. So it is the biggest one in the town.
Okay.
Yeah, from my perspective, it's got 3 obstacles to overcome. Well, maybe 4. The pump station is on. We voted in December to initiate a capital improvement project. One of the items on that list was to upgrade and repair that North Main's pump station. The other one is the treatment plant as a whole. We are currently running all of the processes to treat waste and sometimes not meeting permit. And anytime one of those unit processes goes down, we really struggle. So even though we do have the flow capacity, we don't have the treatment capacity. And that's one of the other large aspects that's on that capital improvement project we voted on in December. So there's 2. The treatment can't handle it. The pump station can't handle it. We're currently doing a rate case to study tie-in fees and user fees to pay for that capital improvement project. And I think we need to have that completed before we approve approve any new large sites. So those for me are the main obstacles I'd have to see. And the other one is we have been all along approving capacities, approving tie-ins and not really summing up all those commitments that we've made. And I think we have to kind of get a handle on that too. We've signed up some major users. We don't really know what those total commitments that we've already made are. So I think we've got a little bit of homework to do before we continue to approve these fairly large tie-ins.
And
Okay.
there is one more note on this. A neighboring resident did call and voice concerns on this project. And I'm not gonna say exactly what she was saying. She was very polite. She just had concerns and wanted her voice heard, but she couldn't be at this meeting. So she asked if she could come to a future meeting before this is approved.
Sure. I understand there have been a couple of neighbors on the L. Stevens roadside who've been to every meeting that there has been. And they've been really reasonable. Believe me, I've seen the whole spectrum of people shouting or down, and they've been very reasonable.
Yep. One thing that is a little surprising to me in the past when we've tied in, allowed these developments to go in, we usually like to see that they are installing infrastructure so that other properties that they pass by or butters are able to tie in. So like that house that's adjacent to Olga, it's like the development is bringing sewer up, but it's really only available to Olga. And like if the neighbor, that number 36 needed it, wouldn't be able to tie into it. So that's a little, if my other concerns were
Sure.
met, that would also be a concern of mine.
I would say that can't profess to be super knowledgeable about all the ins and outs of the E1 line, but as I understand it, if you have a force main line for 10 units, there's really nothing precluding another house, for instance, from having an E1 connecting to the same force main line running through here. In fact, to a degree, to a certain point, they will tell you that's actually preferable because you have the material in the line being pushed along a little more frequently and less chance of septic reaction in the line. So it is possible something could be worked out in that regard. As to the other couple folks, this property here actually has a house with frontage on the other side of the perennial stream over on North Main Street. There's really only maybe this property here who is, the same distance along L. Stevens Road, who's not certain, lined up to possibly be part of this.
I think as far as this project goes, that Olga land needs to be looked at as a sewer extension. And that would apply to the moratorium. Because there is no current sewer service on L. Stevens.
Correct.
So that would be a sewer extension. And that is one of the items listed on our moratorium at this time.
Okay. I'll have to look into that, but so I guess where we wanted to go away from this meeting was because of we've been given sort of thumbnail descriptions of difficulties with the pump station on North Main and other things. We wanted to go away with an idea of how these things were going to be, the different issues were going to be reviewed and sort of quantified. You were saying, Mr. Masterson, that I guess you guys have already started looking at the pump station, and is that what I understood.
Correct.
Is there any timetable already for, these guys are supposed to come back to you in beginning of June or into May, or is there any sort of schedule for that?
No, we haven't even got to the engineers for designing it yet.
Okay.
We just addressed it as it's an issue, and it's on our agenda to take care of it, but there's a whole lot of items on that agenda.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question?
Certainly.
My name is Corin Peterson. I'm part of the project team. I'm with Bowditch and Dewey. I may be the only lawyer who has the great benefit of primarily focusing with communities on aging infrastructure and coming into compliance with permit requirements. So I'm very familiar with the challenges that the town is facing due to the infrastructure. A couple of questions about the pump station. So this North Main Street pump station's receiving from 3 other pump stations, you said?
Correct.
Okay. What's the percentage of I&I coming through that part of the system?
We don't have an exact number on I&I. The contractor's working on that a little bit every year.
Okay. So in terms of, so you're actively working to reduce I&I in that,
Yeah,
in
that's
that part
one of the contractor that operates the facility's responsibilities.
Okay. Excellent, thank you. And just in terms of so you have flow capacity at the wastewater treatment facility, but the treatment capacity is a barrier. So what are you struggling with on that end?
BOD, ammonia, copper, basically all the big ones on the NIPD's permit.
Okay. And plans for treatment upgrades anytime soon?
Yes, we've already started working with engineers to develop a whole new facility.
That is not a small task.
No, that's why we're doing the rate study and the privilege fee assessment.
Okay. Those were the questions that I had. Thank you.
Perfect. Great questions. Thank you.
So I was, as I was saying, I was expecting to walk away asking to continue, but I'm not sure when it would continue to. With the depth and the seriousness of some of these issues to be discussed. I don't know.
In terms of the capacity, I think Mr. Masterson, you had said a development of this size could not be accommodated at this time. Do you have a sense of what could be accommodated here?
I do not.
Okay.
At this current time, we're going case by case, and we're usually just looking at single residences.
Yeah. So I know when you use Title V, when you're looking at a project of this size, everybody immediately goes to Title V flows, and they're looking at a volume based on Title V calculations. Those tend to be an overestimate of what.
I'm well aware.
Okay, I know you are.
Yes, I've talked to several commissioners about the difference between Title V and actuals, and unfortunately, when it comes to looking at a project that we're going to connect to our system, we do have to look at those Title V calculations and assess whether it's going to be beneficial or detrimental to tie something that meets that criteria in. Mm-hmm. If this thing's 7,200 gallons a day and we're only getting 5,000, it's still 5,000 gallons. So it's
sure,
not just a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, I mean, I'm much more familiar about sort of wastewater flow on the South Coast and the Cape, but I mean, typically a household is 125, 130 gallons per day. That's more like a 4,500 gallon per day addition to the system, and it's not 7,200 gallons per day. I mean, that's a rough estimate. I don't know what the average residential water use is in town, but that might be helpful to know.
I appreciate the facts.
For us to
again,
know.
Yeah, we kind of just have to look at the Title V numbers for a project like this. because we really don't know what we're gonna get at the end of it.
Hmm.
Well,
So,
Title V has been a precedent. We've done everybody else in the past according to Title V. So we can't, we can't go away from that at this point.
correct. So though I don't think there would be resolution of these issues in a month's time, I guess I would ask to continue a month out at least, just to keep sort of tracking on the status of the different studies or determinations of the issues, if that would be possible. And we understand there's not, as I say, there's not going to be resolution, but we'd like to just be on an ongoing basis, checking in on where those issues stand, and also in order to be up to date on if it's a fix is determined of what is necessary, especially for that pump station, that the applicant knows as soon as reasonably possible, okay, here's what may be requested in as a portion of helping that, etc. So would it be possible to, are you on a monthly basis or?
We meet once a month.
Okay.
I think if you wanted to check back in 2 or 3 months and see where we're at, that would be fair.
Can we split that difference and try 2?
Excuse me?
I said, can we split the difference between and try 2, plan on 2 months out maybe?
Oh, you can check in every month if you want. If you want to be on the agenda, I think we should wait a couple of months.
Yeah, okay.
I just don't see us building a new pump station or getting it engineered
No,
in a month's
I
time.
understand that. I've seen a couple refurbished and improved in the town of Shrewsbury, and as you say, that was not a very quick thing. All right,
Okay.
so, I guess then we're asking to continue to your June meeting. Then is that the sentiment of the commission?
That sounds fair to me.
Yeah, I think so.
All right,
And
thank you for joining us.
You've come and you've given us a starting point. We're familiar now with your project and some of the problems. We will, more problems on lack of thereof, if we solve them, will be coming by the next meeting, hopefully. And but at least now you're on the board of knowledge for us to consider things and think about it.
And thank you very much for all of you for enlightening us as to just the nature of the problems that we had only heard in more vague terms what they were, so it's good to hear just exactly what the issues are.
Yeah, no, we thank you for coming, and we certainly are a lot more knowledgeable about what you want to do.
And I will send this PDF to the office. So it can be distributed. It's the easiest single thing to look at to be considering the project. Again, the site plans are about 20 sheets, and no single sheet shows all this information.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Corin.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, moving on. We have up next 241 Sturbridge Road, the warehouse project. Who has some comments to make on that? Vinny?
Nothing. There's no updates on that project.
All right.
I
Then,
went up there a couple weeks ago and all the equipment was parked and didn't look like it moved in months.
okay. And there's nobody from this, and I'm just questioning why it was on the agenda then.
It's not on the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, and then next is 50 Burlingame Road.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's me.
Okay,
So 50 Burlingame Road, they went out and they purchased their own grinder pump system. It's similar to ours, but it wasn't purchased from the town. So I asked that they sign a waiver so we don't have to warranty something they didn't purchase from us. I drew up a waiver for you guys to see. I don't know if it made it in your packet or not.
I didn't see it, Vinny.
You didn't see it? I can have a copy for everyone. It's pretty simple. It just basically states the town of Charlton's not gonna be responsible for warranting their grinder pump system.
You guys didn't get a copy of that?
It's
I
in the
did not see
package.
it.
It's page 12 of the PDF.
Thank you.
And the homeowner's aware of this. I just need to bring it to you guys to vote on and approve. So we can get them to sign it and get their project finalized for them.
So,
We have
Vinny,
a form for that?
I'm sorry, just as some background. If people have E1 pumps and they buy it from the town is warranting that?
So the town sells a Little Giant grinder pump system. So if somebody is gonna build a home and they need a grinder pump, they come to us and they buy the entire system. And then they install it to our standards. And at the end of all those checklists, the town warranties it. I don't think it's a great business for the town to be in, but that's what I was given when I started here.
Yeah, and are those the same as the ones that were put in under phase 2 around Glen Echo and?
Yes,
Okay,
they've gotten better.
yeah,
They're really good pumps. They run on float systems now and not a transducer, so that got better. There's not a ton of problems with them, but they're still a
Right.
grinder pump.
and are we making, like, we buy them for X and sell them for
There's,
1.4X?
there's no profit.
Okay,
There's actually discounts depending who the customer was.
yeah, okay, so this guy who bought his own got one that's even less expensive, in theory.
It could have been depending where he bought it. Yeah, if he ordered the Chinese version, definitely.
And I'm sorry if I'm sidelining this conversation, but when I read the RFP that was put together for contract ops from years ago, there was a paragraph in there that said the town is thinking of turning over ownership of these pumps to the residents. And if that happens, then the contract operator will have to kind of help us along with that conversion.
Right.
To your knowledge, was that ever discussed?
Me and Pete had talked about it before that RFP went out. And I was trying to get Pete to convince the board to discontinue service of them, but he wasn't sure how to go about it at that time. So he put it in there looking to get rid of them and just never really got it done.
I think we might be able to find some paperwork on that. If I recall at the time, when Pete was there and did that, we were confronted with the fact that there had to be a 20-year period since they were in. And until that 20-year period was up, we still had to pay for the maintenance of these pumps.
Right, because it was a grant that funded a lot of it.
But yes, but that's 20 years is long gone by now. I spoke to Mr. Lemansky about it, about a month or so ago, because he remembers it, has a much better memory and paperwork behind him than I do. He said, no, that 20 years is long. So we do not have to pay for them anymore. Now, I don't know when a pump breaks down, when we service it, do we send the customer a bill or not? But we don't have to. And if somebody does their own pump, again, we will do it, fix it for them if they ask us to for a price, or they can get their own contractor to fix it. But they're on their own with it. And I know when I owned the laundromat, I too bought my own pump. I bought the same brand, same everything that but I had a different size because of laundry. And I went out on my own and got it, I think, hopefully at a much lower price than the town was selling it. But that goes back around 2008 or 9, something like that. So, but anyhow, that's the only thing I know about this. And the question is now on the we still haven't left 50 Burlingame Road, and we're going to probably need a motion to send out this warranty waiver.
I move to accept this warranty waiver for 50 Burlingame Road as drafted.
I
Second. Okay, I think it's just a waiver paper. Is there any more discussion on that? Hearing none, I'll ask Sue to take a vote.
Mr. Robert Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Thomas Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Eric Groton,
Aye.
Mr. Gagner.
Aye. Okay, next up is the annual report approval. Who has comments on that? Sue, do you, or who, is Vinny, who's in charge of that?
Not
That's,
me.
this is the report that goes in our annual, all the committees, departments, boards, submit their own, so you need to give me the okay to submit it.
Yep. We need a motion for that?
Yes,
So
please.
who would like to make such a motion?
I say we accept the annual report. I make a motion.
I second.
Second, any discussion on it? Hearing none, we'll ask for a vote, Sue.
All right, Mr. Robert Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Thomas Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Groton,
Aye.
Mr. Gagner.
Aye. Next up is, oh yeah, the water sewer superintendent job description. What's with that, Sue? I thought that was already taken care of.
No, we discussed it at our February 18th meeting, and we tabled it till this meeting, just because to go over it a little bit better, specifically the education and experience section
And the title change.
and the title change, sorry.
The
Is
pay
this-
scale, they changed it from a superintendent to a foreman. A foreman would have a lower pay scale than a superintendent.
Okay. I thought that was different, but I wasn't sure why. Now, what has been advertised?
Nothing,
Nothing
we
has
have
been
to,
advertised yet.
right.
This one has not been.
The executive assistant has been advertised, they're receiving applicants now. but
Yeah,
This one has not been posted until it's finalized due to that change.
Correct.
The other things is the education and experience. I recommended we look for somebody with a grade 5C or higher, Massachusetts wastewater operator license, along with a grade 2 or higher drinking water distribution license. Peter was required to get the distribution license, and Peter was also an engineer. I think it would be really handy if somebody who filled this role had wastewater experience to know what they're looking at when they go out in the facility or when they talk to the operator.
Yeah, I did talk to somebody at the Mass DEP, both water and wastewater. Neither is required as far as they're concerned. Because we have contract operators filling that role. And it's gonna limit the, I think it would be great to have them, but I think it's gonna limit the people that apply. That's a pretty high. The two isn't very high, and we should actually, oh yeah, it says 2D, water distribution license, so. The 2D isn't hard to have or find, but the grade C and the wastewater might be restrictive.
I think that can come about in the wording of the ad. Such positions are, I don't know, feather in your cap, but not requirement, so we wait till see what we get, what choices we have. We may not have a lot of choices with these requirements. And don't forget too, Peter on his water requirements. At the time, when Peter first got elected to the job, hired for the job, we were considering setting up our own water system thing until we found out that Southbridge wouldn't give us any break on it. But anyhow, that was part of the reason that Peter went and got these positions satisfied. This water sewer, what the commissioner's expense. So, okay.
So how about if we how about we keep these, what's highlighted here, and just say, make it a new sentence, grade 5C or higher mass water wastewater license and grade 2D or higher drinking water license are
Desirable.
desirable or favorable, but not required or something.
Yeah.
Recommended, but required, right? Okay.
And I'll make a motion to approve the. job
Wait, can we
description as-
back up for a little bit?
Yeah.
What about, did you want to put a timeline for any of those, like,
Oh, to acquire them?
yeah,
Well, Eric just said it's not required by Mass DEP water or sewer,
okay,
so I don't think it's required. It's just desirable if they do. It
okay,
would mean they had some sort of experience and knew what they were looking at.
Yeah, we can work that out in the interview process, if
Right.
they have it or are planning to get it.
okay.
Okay, we're all set with that then? We don't, we have to make a motion to accept.
Yeah,
Eric
you
made,
do.
Eric made a motion, I'll second it.
Okay, any more discussion on it? If not, Sue, we can do a vote.
Eric, I just want to confirm, you did make a motion on that?
I made a motion to accept it as we,
Okay.
as amended.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Robert Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Thomas Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Groton,
Aye.
Mr. Gagner.
Aye.
Great.
Moving on, we have meter maintenance notification. We talked about that at our last meeting. Has anything been sent out yet? Do you know, Sue?
No, because if you flip the page, you will see a draft of,
Oh,
The door knocker.
So we generated a door knocker that we can hang on people's doors if they're not home to notify them we were there. It seemed to be the easiest way where nobody has landlines anymore and nobody updates their cell phone numbers because of all the robocalls. This seemed to be the best solution to getting people to respond to us. So when we find these defective meters, one of the steps is to hang that up. I did make a set of steps to follow when we find there's defective meters. I don't know if it's in the packet or not.
it is not.
It is not. So it's 5 steps. The initial discovery and logging it. Me and Sue discussed this. And there was no documentation whenever there was a faulty meter. It was just try to remember it next quarter. So we're gonna create a logbook and log it. There'll be an on-site visit where somebody will go out to the house, knock on the door, and try to get in and repair it if possible. If not, the next step is a written notice. And that's gonna notify them that at some point soon, they're gonna go to a flat rate customer if they don't contact us to repair it. And then the final step is the billing adjustment where we turn them into a flat rate customer.
did you say there were only about 20 or so of these?
It's only about 20 of them, but some of them have been issues for 2 years,
Yeah,
really long time. So we needed to do something.
Yeah, that's better than the registered mail. Way better.
Yes. And I don't know if you guys got this either. Now I emailed those steps to you guys. And I also emailed you guys a summary of all the water meter regulations that are on the town's website. But the previous board had a tampering fine of $5,000. That's what they approved. There's damage and negligence charges in there. There's a brief policy on defective and malfunctioning meters. But basically, I sent you guys a whole summary that explained it all. If you didn't receive it, I can print it or I can resend it. But it's all been voted on and it's posted on the town's website. So it is available for everyone that looks.
okay.
So I have,
We don't need a motion for the door knocker, right?
I don't think so. It's just a process, right?
Yeah,
Is it already discussed in the meter policy thing that you had, or?
Not, so the faulty meter steps it's on the faulty meter steps. So maybe vote on it next round.
That sounds good.
You guys can review the faulty meter steps again and we can take a vote next month.
okay.
And then my final item for you guys is some capital improvements. So we know we have the list of pump stations that have issues. And me and Dennis have been working together to get some quotes and get a list of which ones could really use the attention. I spoke with Ashley. We do have capital funding that was requested at a special town meeting that's sitting aside for these pump stations. And the quotes we have so far is to take care of the two small pump stations we have left, which is South Sturbridge and Glen Echo Shores. And the quotes total $20,000 per station. This is to go in and update all the electronics in the cabinets and put brand new pumps in with VFDs.
And all the pumps are gonna be the same, correct?
And this is gonna make all three of our small pump stations have the same exact pumps. So they'd be interchangeable. And at the end of this, we're gonna request that we can get a spare pump or two to put on the shelf.
Good idea.
But at this time, we're, just trying to get the stations all to the same point.
The funds for this, they were in the 2025 budget, so we should, 2026 budget. So we should approve
This
it.
is not a budgetary item. This was a capital request item,
Okay,
and this money's been sitting in our capital account for over a year.
either way, I still think we should do something tonight about that, so.
Yeah, I'd like it if you guys would vote on it and approve it so Dennis can pull the lever and get these things headed down the road.
Okay, I make a motion to upgrade these 3 small pump stations Vinny is referring to.
Was it 3 or 2?
It's only 2 at this time. We already did 1. I'm sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
The 2.
So this is gonna be the South Sturbridge and the Glen Echo Shores pump stations.
A second.
I'm sorry, who seconded?
Eric Rotten.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody got any discussion on these? Any reason why we shouldn't?
No, but-
Hey, Vinny,
but
how
Vinny,
long
is there
will
a-
that take?
It's usually probably close to 6 months before we get the bills for this. It takes
But
probably
they'll be
2
fixed.
months. It takes about 2 months for the equipment to get here, and then probably another 2 months for the electrician to get it in.
Okay.
And then the bills come a little later down the road. So we're looking at 6 months before we pay these bills.
And that price you gave includes the electrician as well?
This has the electrician's quote, the VFDs, and the pumps in this quote.
Okay,
You've already selected the contractor?
Well, we only got the quote from LaFleur because they're really familiar with our system. If you'd like us to get an alternate quote, we can work on that.
It's under 30B. We don't have to get multiple quotes, is that right?
Right.
Yeah. And is this part of a bigger capital improvement repair thing list and you just pulled these 2 out?
Well, I had my capital 5-year plan and these were on that list.
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure that any of these other things that aren't getting taken care of here get put on the other one. You know,
Oh, put a big budget?
for the bigger one. I just want to make sure that we have some list, like, if there's a big list of capital improvement projects that we have to do, I'd like them to be on a board list that we can prioritize and start to say, this one comes before that one.
I can work on that list with Dennis and we can post it in the office and share it with everybody if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, the talk we just had about 35 Main Street, right?
Yes,
That
North
will
Main Street.
become essentially a thing saying, hey, Water and Sewer Commission, you guys have all these things and you keep telling us they're problems. When are you gonna fix them? And what is your plan to get it done? And so I want to make sure that we have like a legitimate, reasonable, scheduled plan to get, each step done so that all these people asking things of us know that we're actually on a
Right.
on a route to get it done. And I'd prefer
So
to,
my reasoning for these is we had $50,000 of capital money for a pump station.
yep,
And these 2 pump stations definitely need it. And it would cover the cost. That
Yeah,
was my whole reason for this project.
I'm all for it. I'm just
Yes.
trying to put long-term planning in here.
I like it. I'm not.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we should put together a list here at the office, so it's visible for everybody. And yeah, check it off. We'll make step marks or whatever we need to do, so it's there for everyone.
Yep.
Okay, hearing no more, is there any more discussion? Otherwise, we do have a motion and we do have a second. Can we take a vote, Sue?
I apologize, my dog is not happy right now. So Mr. Robert Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Thomas Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Groton,
Aye.
Mr. Gagner.
Aye.
Great.
Is Mr. McClure here tonight? I haven't seen Chris on my TV. I don't know if he's
He's
in
here.
the, he is, okay. Well, we got McClure Water System status updates. That's up next. You sure he's here?
Yeah, he's here. He just muted himself.
Oh, okay.
The microphone's got to be unplugged.
Is the microphone's volume turned on? Maybe it's plugged in and the volume is set to 0.
Well, while we're waiting for Chris, Vinny, do you have monthly updates to go over?
I kind of covered them in all the other points.
Okay,
There is one item left on my checklist, and that's the RFP that myself, Mr. Eric Groton, and Andrew have been working on.
okay. How can we get Chris's attention?
I could call him on his cell phone.
Yeah, that'll work, should work, unless he's not using it for the meeting.
Vinny, why don't you tell him about the timeline for the RFP and why we might have to meet 2 weeks from now?
Okay, so just a second. So the timeline for the RFP, to give everybody a fair chance to review it and prepare to submit on it, it's pretty quick. It's really coming down to the wire. Eric had a great one, and I'm just looking for it. I got so many windows open right now. There we go. So Mr. Groton came up with a timeline for the RFP. We would like to release it on March 16th. And to give everybody time to review it, we're going to need to do a meeting right before that instead of waiting until the next meeting. So if we release it on March 16th, we could have a mandatory pre-bid tour of April 22nd. That gives everybody about a month to review it and get ready. And the contractors can decide if they want to come for a tour or not. So all the interested parties should be ready within a month. We have a rain date. You know, if anything catastrophic happened, we'd need to postpone it a week or so. Then we got to give the contractors time to prepare questions and submit those questions for our review. That date is May 20th. The responses to the questions from us are due on June 5th. Give us about a week and a half to answer the questions. With the responses to the questions they asked, they'll all put their bids together and submit them on July 2nd. The commission's going to review the bid proposals on July 8th, and the commission's going to vote on it August 5th. If Veolia is not the winner of the bid, then that would give them plenty of notice that somebody else will be replacing them. If they are, they got plenty of notice to renew their contract. So it's important to give everybody time to get all their ducks in a row for these things. It can't be rushed. If it is rushed, we end up with poor results. So
Yeah, we were trying to push this off for months so that we didn't have to meet again, but it was gonna squeeze it too tight and people weren't gonna have enough time to review it before the bids are due, so. Anyway, so Sue, are you gonna send that out? You've got what you need to like send it to all the parties for a week or so to look at before we vote on it?
To send out to the commissioners, you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so maybe we could do that's a Monday it's getting released. So maybe a Wednesday or Thursday of next week meeting, is that enough time for everybody to review it?
Yep.
I cannot be there. I mean, you can have a meeting without me, but the 11th, I'm at FinCom.
How about the 12th? So
I
Thursday?
I'll have to check my schedule, but yeah.
12th would not work for me, ideally.
What's a meeting without you look like, Sue?
That would mean Vinny and Paul are in charge, yeah.
But they can set up a Zoom call now?
Right, no. No, because it's attached, it has to be attached to a person. It can't be a department. So right now it's attached to me, but I can finagle things and I can I definitely cannot do the 11th because I need to be at FinCom. But the 12th, it should be a quick meeting, correct?
Yeah, it's gonna be like that last one we had in person.
Okay.
But Bob can't.
12th,
do it.
just checked, 12th
What
should be
time's
fine.
class over?
I'm sorry, what was that, Tom?
Yeah, 12 should be fine.
Okay.
Okay, Chris,
Okay, did you ever get a hold of Chris?
Chris called in on his phone.
He's on here still.
Okay.
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Hey, here we go.
Nice to see you too.
Welcome
Kind of like
aboard.
it's kind of like being back at home. I'm talking, but no one can hear me. So, yeah. So as far as the water projects go, I had sent along the heat map discussion of those higher pressure zones. And that was back, I had sent it back when Cheryl was still on board. I don't know if she sent those out to folks, but if not, I can resend them and send them to Sue so you guys can get a idea of, we had discussed if we were to put the tank online, what areas would be affected. I've also spoken more to Mr. Groton relative to pulling together some numbers for placing that tank online and the augmentation, the chloramine augmentation that would be needed. So for the next meeting, I'm going to have some budgetary numbers for the commission to vote on to see if we can move this project along. And also, I know that Steve Gregoire from Southbridge Water Department has had additional discussions with the DEP as why these upgrades need to happen. And I think it's it's really going to try to drive this project forward, because not only would it improve the water system, but regulatory requirements, something's going to need to be happening as far as keeping the residual up in the water system. So for the next meeting, I'll have that but prior to, so the commission can review it, and then hopefully we can get a vote to move it forward.
So with that heat map you sent out,
yeah,
there's a lot more high pressure areas than we originally thought. I thought it was just going to be the bottom of the hill over here on 20, but Mugget Hill's a big area, and there's a couple more throughout town.
Now, Mugget Hill was addressed in the upgrades. That just shows pressures that are elevated above the 80, Vinny. And when the water system, when the school loop went in, there were a number of those homes that were already over that. So they do have pressure reducing valves, so they meet
Okay.
meet the requirements of the plumbing code. So this would just be, the areas that we're seeing now are just gonna be new areas, which is basically down in Charlton City.
Gotcha.
So. And that's all I have.
Okay. Anybody else got anything for Chris before we go on to any business that's unknown at the time of posting? If not, we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
I introduce a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Any discussion? Sue, how about a vote, please?
Sure. Mr. Robert Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Thomas Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Groton,
Aye.
Mr. Gagner.
Good night. Aye.